Our big story tonight at 11, sexual assault. This is such a difficult subject to talk about, but when we took a look at the stats from the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network tonight, we were stunned. Out of every 1,000 sexual assaults, only 310 are reported to police, and only 50 of those lead to an arrest. 28 result in a felony conviction, and only 25 perpetrators will be incarcerated. Last night, you remember, we were talking about that bill at the State House aimed at defining consent here in Indiana, so more of these crimes can be prosecuted.
And so as I looked at what, what's in the statute about rape, I thought, this is so out of date. It's a loophole. We need to fix it.
You may remember Representative Sue Arrington. She co-authored House Bill 1079. So tonight we're taking a look at how many states define consent. We're also going to show you how Indiana's current laws fall short. And we'll also tell you about a rally in support of this House bill. But first tonight, a woman still waiting for justice after the current laws fell short. But we want to caution you tonight. Some of what you're about to hear is disturbing.
Supporters of House Bill 1079 say for the first time in Indiana law, consent would be defined when it comes to considering an allegation of rape. Right now, there's no such definition on the books, and many believe that that leaves rape and sexual assault victims with a tougher road to finding justice.
We need a law that says no means no.
But Stephanie Stewart says that word never came out of her mouth 2 years ago when she says a salesman who visited her house raped her. She says she was too terrified when it started. In fact, her memories of that day are so vague, Stephanie still wonders if she was drugged.
I have two memories: pushing him off my chest, saying, "Stop, stop, stop." My next memory is laying face down on my couch with him doing whatever he wants to me. I could not speak. I could not move. I was like catatonic.
Charges were never brought against the man Stephanie reported raped her.
They said, well, maybe you changed your mind. Maybe you consented to rough sex.
Consent. That's exactly what Stephanie hopes Indiana will finally define if House Bill 1079 becomes law when the Senate takes up the bill that's already passed in the House.
If you not get verbal or physical communication, you cannot assume consent. And that is why this law is so, so important.
Right now in Indiana, sex without consent isn't a crime unless there's proof of physical force, the threat of physical force, or the victim is incapacitated.
So right now, prosecutors are stuck in a situation where they have to define force, but not consent. And those two things are very different.
Professor Michael Leppert sits on the board of Women for Change Indiana, a nonprofit that's testified on behalf of the bill.
It's time to get in and modernize our statutes, and this is one way to do that. It's important, and there's no reason to wait any longer.
Stephanie Stewart believes any longer of a wait will only mean more survivors like her are denied the justice they deserve.
And our laws don't protect us.
Across the country, 13 states and the District of Columbia have legal definitions of what consent is. And only 9 of those states and D.C. require freely given consent or affirmative consent. Currently in the state of Indiana, consent is not specifically defined. But Indiana law does say that a person commits a sex crime if the victim is compelled by force or imminent threat of force, if the victim is unaware that the sexual intercourse is occurring, or if the victim is so mentally disabled that consent cannot be given. Tomorrow, Stephanie will be on the steps of the Indiana State House at a rally supporting the consent law. That rally starts at noon if you'd like to show your support. We have more information about House Bill 1079, Stephanie's story, and the rally on WTHR.com. And that wraps up tonight's big story.